It's just moving with them.
So for me, for the first maybe 4 years of my career, I was, and for which is the case for most people, for most of their careers actually in Kenya, you are the artist, you are the songwriter, you are maybe the producer, you are the publicist, you are the lawyer,
Manager.
you are the manager, you are the tour, you're everybody, yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's a very important step in life. I call that stage the internship stage.
Yeah.
Yeah. Of anything, even you've been through it,
man.
right?
Yeah.
And you call it, I call it the internship stage because as an intern, your job is to learn everything about the business and figure out where your strengths are and where your weaknesses are. And for me, I realized my weaknesses are in management, right? And so once I can have a team that is able to strengthen my weaknesses, then my strengths then are allowed to flourish. So my strengths are creating the actual music, performing the music.
You focus on your strongest points.
Exactly. The creative side, then that becomes now my day-to-day mandate. So I'm no longer worrying about contracts. I'm no longer worrying about negotiations. I'm no longer worrying about where's my music being played, because there's an entire team
people who follow up on
who
that.
are dedicated to doing that, that are professionals in their own right, that have experience, that are networking all the time, and that gives me the space to be able to just sit down for a year and make an album, which is a very, very, very fortunate thing. I know a lot of people don't have access to that,
but it's not easy.
But this thing, I realized as much as it's important to take ownership and do things on your own where you can't find other people. To go the real distance, I think you can't do it by yourself. The real distance, you can't do it by yourself. I mean, you look at this Homecoming, Beyonce. Yeah.
Yep.
The number of people involved.
It's crazy.
For one show.
Yep.
One show, the number of people involved. And those were, I mean, the ones you see on TV, yeah. And then there's people behind the scenes who you haven't seen.
Yeah.
Like the number of people that were employed for that 1.5 2 hour thing to be made.
Yeah.
Was so many, and it took months of work.
Planning.
Yeah.
Everything.
And coordination, and everybody just being like a well-oiled machine, you know. And I think that's the importance of having a team. That's the importance of having a team with you. That to really go the distance, you need to be many of you who are good at everything that you do. You know, I'm not calling you to come and produce for me beats. You know, You know, that's not your strength. You know, so you leverage people's strengths, and everybody's your what's that thing, your weakest. The thing, you know, the one I'm talking about.
I don't. I'm waiting for you to tell me.
Your weakest link is your strongest weakness, strength. Something like that. You're only as strong as your weakest link.
Oh yeah, true.
Yeah.
True.
Hey. English ningomo.
And you see, I think a lot of artists, that's where the frustration comes in. When you're trying to book these interviews, you're trying to look for endorsements, you're trying to get the perfect amount to be paid, you're looking for shows and everything. But I'm just guessing, like, once you have that, everything just starts falling into place and it just starts making sense. It's not easy.
No.
But are the management companies in Kenya, are they a lot?
Nope. And if I
actually just think Taurus has been there, like, that's consistently, and I think it's one of the.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who will call themselves managers, or management, you know. But it's not. There's a lot of things that they are missing, you know. So it's. There's not enough of it, basically. I think there's not enough of it. Get off my pancakes. So I honestly, this is the thing that I keep on advising people.
Should people get signed or
Not even get signed. I mean, like, work. Like, if you're somewhere with your boys, and you know you have that particular dream for like making music or making content or whatever it is, and your boy doesn't necessarily have the dream for making music or making content, but
Yeah.
this guy understands numbers like you can't believe.
he's good at something.
Work with your boy on this thing, you know. Ensure that interest, that gift is translates into income.
Yeah.
You know, because especially if you're winning with your homies from day one,
Man.
that is the sweetest success, you know.
Yeah.
To just have the guys that you have started with from day one riding with you until.
Do you have them? Do you have them with you?
I have
Mine is not the case.
I don't, not necessarily. So I think for me, my day ones are like my cousins. So I'm very close to my cousins.
Yeah.
And those are the guys that have been there from the very, very start. Like when we used to go around to clubs, and they would pretend to ask the DJ, "Do you have that song by
do those
they come and
anonymous
ask, yeah.
requests
and we're there with him like this. I'm like, that guy is called Kagwe or something like that. Yeah, he has a song called Siju Chips Funga or something like that. So you have it. Obviously, the DJ doesn't have it. I just made the song last night, you know. The guy's like, Zizi, I don't have it. I was like, I think Nani has it in the car, in a flash.
Oh, and then you
go, and then you put it there, you plug it. We dance, we get lit. No guys in the club are like, which jam is this?
Yeah.
Whose song is this? You know, we'd go to shows, you know, and I remember you'd see like the whole front row of the show is would be like girls just like screaming.
Yeah.
Nobody knows those girls were my cousins. But now people are looking, they're like, we Kago and Apendo na madame.
Well played.
All those girls are my cousins, and and my cousins' friends, you know. So it was those are my day ones. Those are the people that really, really ride for me, and still today ride for me.
And that's interesting.
Yeah.
It's interesting that you've brought that up, because it's not easy. Like, even for me, the way you're saying it, I had a lot of people maybe around me, but now as I started being like aggressive with what I'm trying to pursue, not everybody can share that journey with you if they don't have that eye or the same vision as you. So no matter how much you'd force your homies, like, yo, let's go and shoot this and this. Like, man, come on, man. I'm holding this camera for like 1 hour.
Yeah.
Why? Why? I could be drinking, man. I could be doing this and that. So, like, even for me, like, I had to fall out with a lot of my friends because they didn't understand, like. And that's why, like, most of the time I'm, of course, definitely like a one-man show. But for growth, definitely a team is very necessary. But would you say it's... would you say, since we're talking about this, would you say... Is it hard for like mainstream Kenyans to work together? It's like something that I've noticed. It's a bit tricky, because why doesn't Kagwe have like a song with a particular rapper that I know who's really, really good, and he has the wave, and you also have like your wave? Why isn't Kagwe doing music with him to push ourselves to the... You know how Tanzanians are doing it?
Yeah.
How South Africans are doing it and everything.
I think that for me, if you ask me, is our biggest weakness in our entertainment scene here. We're not... It's because everybody still feels like they're grinding on day one. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, as much success as I've had, I still feel like I have so much further to go. And because of that, there's less of a inclination to pull up the next guy. Right? It's like what's that thing, that crabs in a barrel? So there's...
Bro, you should have to stop dropping these things on me like, yo. I'm like, yo.
Okay, so let me explain crabs in a barrel. So you put crabs in a barrel, like in a bucket.
Yeah.
And they'll try to climb out of the bucket, but as they're climbing, they're pulling each other down.
Oh yeah. Okay, I got you.
So that's the kind of mentality that I think we have here, where it's like, I'm trying to succeed, but if I must pull you down for me to go up, you know, or even ignore you so that I can continue to go up, that's what I'm going to do. And then as I'm going up, somebody else will pull me down because they want to try and get up. You know what I mean?
And I think that's the one thing that we're having a problem with as Kenyans.
Yeah.
It's nothing else. It's just that one thing. Because if you look around, like even like in the States, man, like you have people who hate each other. Come on, did you see like how Cardi B and Nicki Minaj were on the same track?
Yeah.
These people hate each other. Proper. But like their management was like, yo guys, listen, we need to make this shit work. You're good at this, you're good at this. They actually, even if it's tricking or maneuvering in a different, and they were both in a music video, and they don't like each other.
Yeah.
Putting your differences aside and making things work. I think
making
that's
money.
just making money. Because it's just, I think that's just the one thing that's pulling us behind. And even with a lot of people that I've brought in the podcast, they were like, yo, how comes when I just leave the country, I go somewhere else, I'm so appreciated in a very different way. Okay, like, what the hell, man?
Yeah.
Like, I remember my first time going to like even AC, and I was shooting with like a hideous camera, bro.
Yeah.
Hideous by the way, I won't even lie. But bro, they were told I'm coming to shoot something. I was like,
excited.
I was like, yo, I think this guy's oversold me, by the way. Because like, you know, from the hotel I was picked up like in a Porsche. Yo, there was security, there was champagne, and then like, listen, bro, I'm thinking like, yo, what is this? How like you treat people who actually do it? I was like, yo, people don't give a shit about me in my country, man. I was like, I'm
Here
just
you have
shooting,
champagne on tap,
bro. So I'm just saying, like, it's so different and weird when you experience that somewhere else. When in your country, like, it's just like people around you. I don't know what kind of mentality we have, man, but we have to shape it, though.
I think it's culture. You know, there was a time when a lot of people were talking about, oh, you know, the reason why Kenyan music is not doing well is because we don't have a Kenyan sound. Yeah. I don't believe that. I can understand where people come from, but I don't believe it.
Yeah.
And the reason why I don't believe it is because that's not what Kenya's culture is, right? I mean, we can't even decide on a national dress. You know what I mean?
Not true. We've never been that.
Yeah. So I mean, our strength is in that we are diverse. That is what I think our biggest strength is. True. Is that we are diverse. We're easy to digest everywhere. You know, and that's the kind of thing that I think will take our culture to the next step. But before that's done, we need to celebrate our culture.
Man.
Not just play it, not support it, not this thing for ni support, bro. No, let's stop supporting. Let's start celebrating. You know what I mean? Yeah. Because there's the difference between supporting is that, like, okay, sawa, let me help out a guy, versus I really like this guy's music, you know?
And I think that's just one, and that's why, like, even for me the podcast was just important, because I have to, it's a platform that I can have those conversations with people. It's not just about like promoting. Because you see, if you go on tele or radio, like by now the interview would have been done. Because this album and everything, but now we forget about to have conversations about the little things that actually cause, like, you know, that make us not grow like as friends, just culture and everything. Because I've been having like this conversation on the podcast as well. Like, you've seen like all these women empowerment programs. Every week women are sitting together talking about, like, you know, finances, business and everything. Bro, homies are not sharing information about anything. I'd have like one friend who was like a crazy successful business. One has like 3 or 4 Benzes. One has I'm like, yo, can't we share information about like just legit knowing, so that we all, if we go somewhere and like we're spoiling ourselves, we're buying something, it's not just Nani who's buying drinks. It's like, yo, I chomoa stack, you chomoa stack, and everybody's like just said we have to. Yo, man.
Yeah, men don't talk enough. we don't talk enough. Teta men, I think we have the most superficial conversations.
Oh, you just hold on.
But that's another whole topic.
No, hold on to that. Hold on to that, Konza.